Capture one. Start. 1, 2, 3. Kia ora, lovely people. We are here sitting up in this beautiful Festival of the Future that's happening over the weekend for 2 days. Actually, not the weekend, but Thursday and Friday. And it's just amazing, full of inspiring people. And today I have a lovely guest that are visiting this festival and also want to talk to them. So, guys, welcome to our Voice of Aroha show. And how are you today?
Very good, inspired.
Amazing,
Yeah.
thank you. Would you like to give us introduction, like introduce yourself first?
Sure. Tēnā tātou. He uri ahau no te rarawa me te apauri, ko Zoe Hubbard tōku ingoa. E noho anau ki konei, te whanganui ātara. My name is Zoe, for all of you out there listening. Thank you for having us here. It's pretty cool just to sit down and have a kōrero. Yes, I live in Wellington. I'm local. I'm a current student at Victoria University. My interests are in Māori resource management, environmental studies, things like that. Really just conserving our whenua and our taiao. And also working part-time in the water sector, doing a bit of admin. So yeah, grateful to be here today. I think it's an awesome opportunity to just get some inspiration and really harnessing the energy with our rangatahi and all the potential that we can do. So yeah,
Beautiful.
kia ora.
Thank you so much for having me. How about you?
Oh, main kōrero there, mate. But tēnā rā tātou e te whānau, ko ai au, ko LilyBelle Riri taha te rā mā pukura memory poetu ahau. Hiru no tēnei au no nā tika nuni ki here taunga, rongo whakaata, ngai tamini hiri i te taha tōku pāpa. Hiru no tēnei au no te atiawa, ngai te mutunga, ngai te tama, ngai te kuata. I te puaki au ki te taha tōku māma kei here taunga. Engari, kei konei ahau I noho ana, kei pōneke, te whanganui ātara, mihi mai ki te mana whenua o te atiawa me Ngāti Tuarangatira. So my name is LilyBelle. I was born and raised in Hawke's Bay. My connections are to Hawke's Bay all the way over to Taranaki down to Te Tauihu, which is down south. I currently study at Victoria University, majoring in Māori Studies and Māori Resource Management, and currently working in the Ministry of Culture and Heritage, promoting Māori history to do with parihaka. So that's my dream and drive, is to be able to create stories told by our people in their own vision.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, both of you, and lovely to have you both. And big welcome to you, and thank you for having this opportunity for us to have this kōrero together. So I'm very lucky, glad to have you here and this young wahine here with us. We would love to hear from you a little bit on, we are here in Voice of Aroha talking about the subject called social cohesions, which is something like it's kind of most recently we'll start talking more about it. So as you are young people and people of the land, mana whenua, and the indigenous people of Aotearoa, what are your perspectives when we are talking about diversity and inclusions and social cohesion in general? How you guys see that future and now what we can do as also together to work to make that safe space for all of us?
I think for me, what I've seen over the last few years and just being involved at university and through working is that we've come along a long way of the inclusion of tangata Māori, te reo Māori in all aspects of work in all the sectors throughout Aotearoa. Hoiono, I do think there's definitely still more work to be done. I can see a lot of organisations often include te ao Māori things as kind of tokenism, so they include it because they have to, so they don't look bad or that, you know, yeah. But I think the real challenge that comes is placing that value in mātauranga Māori, so Māori knowledge, te reo Māori, our language, to really appreciate the value of it is going to push these partnerships to thrive.
Yeah,
that's what
beautiful.
I think.
Nice, beautiful.
What I reckon, with me being, I would say, a Hori Māori coming into the city and having that diversity of like what my identity means to me is I am who I am and no one can ever take that. And I see the hard mahi that my tupuna have done for me to say that I am Māori and proud. And that's been a big challenge for all Māori in general, is to be comfortable in their own skin. And there's a lot of work that government spaces could be doing but aren't doing. But that comes with that vision where they need to communicate more with Indigenous themselves and indigenize their whole space and decolonize who they are and understand that Māori and the Pākehā world is totally different, but we need to have respect. And referring to that respect, we need to honour the Treaty of Waitangi, in which creates that beautiful partnership. But that's a long working progress to actually fully honour what the treaty means.
Yes, that's very well, beautiful say for both of you. I would love to follow up with the same kōrero. I'm talking about re-indigenize the things that's been talking away from a long time, that process. And we know that Mana Whenua, which is Māori, the people of the land, they are still in a healing process. So how that is you as a young generations have that hope and that future to work on that one? What are your ways of thinking that yes, we will achieve this, we will get to the things? How you see that challenge and to overcome those challenges?
I think for me personally, it's a journey of decolonizing myself.
Yeah.
So growing up in a very Western framework, yet reconnecting with my own whakapapa, it's decolonizing my ways, my thinking, and how I approach certain tasks, especially entering the workforce. And I think just in general, if we can move to recognise Te Ao Māori and Mātauranga Māori as an independent body of knowledge, it's not something that we're forcing into our Western frameworks. We need to kind of separate it, and they can coexist at the same time, but just recognising that each one has values, and Te Ao Māori is unique, it's independent, and it's what connects us to our whenua and where we're from.
I think touching back on that base of, like Zoe said, it's more so like creating respect. Like there needs to be respect that's put down. But in order for Māori to fully heal, it's going back into our past to address these issues that, that's their unhealed trauma. Because, trauma itself is different stages and you go through different process of healing, and it's easier said than done because there's some stuff that are under the carpet that no one wants to talk about. And that's the hard thing, is talking about the situation and knowing and owning up to the actions and taking accountability. And it hurts me a lot to know that my tupuna went through that struggle, but knowing now that I have these different taonga that cater in my life to help guide my pathway to be who I am as a Māori. Like I said before, there is so much work to be done to be able to indigenise a space, but the biggest question is how, like my friend said, how do we indigenize ourselves and decolonise? What are the tools that we need to be able to, that put in place? But that's for us to do for the next generation to come.
Yes, beautifully said. Exactly, and I re-emphasize that, like how we do that if the space has already been taken from you, and if not resource available to empower that kōrero, that to be in a two-way power, because a lot of powers is knowledge and things have been taken to resource these people. When they say about any consultations, the second side of the story that have been taken from them, the land and everything else, they need to be empowered with all the resource to be able to sit, okay, now let's have that kōrero of partnership. Is it something like that you guys...
But I think it also comes down, because, there's a lot of clues in the past you can go digging and finding, but it's kind of saying, okay, how can we apply the knowledge of the past with the modern knowledge that we have now and combine that together to make a better space for our younger ones to come in and be who they are.
Yes.
I also think there's a huge opportunity for non-Māori in this space to step up as well, because it's one thing to say, like Māori, we need to heal ourselves and bring ourselves back up, but it goes both ways. So non-Māori need to hold that space to allow us to decolonise and, have that confidence in our values and bring them in.
Beautiful. So I have the last question, but before that, I want to share as well with you. I'm really thankful for you both and from indigenous person who come from Middle East or Mesopotamia or Assyria, which my people have a 7,000 years. I want to say thank you from a brother to a sister Wahine here. So you guys welcomed us. And like you say, we really have to come together to support each other, because at the end of the day, we are all here in this beautiful land to make a beautiful, save this place for the next generations. So I'm very glad to have you. The last questions I want to ask you about your advice. What advice you have for our young people? Yeah. So any advice you want to share about what I want you to do? If just say your name, and then then start about your advice. Anything you want to talk about the future, and also about being who you are, identity. I love that, Kōrero. So mic for you. If you want to look at the camera directly or just look at us, just feel free. Say your name and give that advice to us.
I think the advice for me, and this is something I'm still working through, is just have that confidence and strengthen your identity. You are who you are. Reconnect with your ancestry, your heritage, and be strong with that, you know. Especially for our rangatahi Māori, being Māori doesn't look a certain way, as you can tell, you know. You know who you are, you know where you come from, and yeah, really stand strong in that. Don't let any of these kind of Western systems take that away from you, and just, always have your own back, and your people have your back too.
Beautiful. What's your name?
Zoe.
Zoe. Thank you, Zoe.
Kia ora.
LilyBelle Pohatu, my advice, especially with our rangatahi that are up and coming, is just be you. No one can ever take that away from you. Don't go into different spaces thinking that you have to be this and that, because that just drains you at the end of the day. Just be your authentic self. If you're Māori, flaunt that. If you're Fijian, flaunt that. Own it. And it's, even if you don't know a lot about where you come from, it's still there. It's within your DNA. You just got to learn to embrace it.
Wow, kia ora for that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Kia ora. Thank you.
Right. Woo!